Another question today from one of our channel members. Hi, Sunny. I've watched your channel for some time now and thoroughly enjoy your videos. I look forward to seeing them every day. They're fun to listen to. Oh my gosh, guys. I am so humbled that any of you watch my janky channel. It's amateur hour here. I record just on my cell phone. I don't know how to use a filter. I don't know how to use AI. I'm just a ballroom dancer sharing my experiences. So, oh my gosh, that just makes me feel like $1 million. Thank you. Anyway, my question is, I will be in a different state for several months and want to continue my groups and privates. How do I find a coach I should see during that time? I have a limited budget. Do you have any recommendations on the steps and how to identify the best instructor or studio for my needs? My plan is to try some privates with some different teachers in my first few weeks, see who clicks, but I'm not sure what to look for in a good ballroom dance instructor or studio, or what the etiquette is of test driving a new teacher. Great question. One studio I'm considering has great rates for group classes and more expensive private lessons. Another studio, a good 2.5 hours away, has much cheaper privates, maybe because they're just in a less populated area. My concern comes in whether I should bite the bullet and take my privates with the same instructors as the groups, or do I go to the other studio for the groups, the other for the privates? Would I learn better having the same instructor for the privates and the groups? Or is my money better spent taking lessons at the different studios from the different teachers? Amazing question. First of all, as you know, I'm a big proponent of taking with visiting coaching. But, caution, I am not a big proponent of having two primary coaches. Unless they're dance partners, then you know the information is going to be very complimentary. In my experience, this is actually going to hold your dancing back. You're going to get a lot farther if you pick your horse and you stay on it through the race. Okay. So number one, this person is a competitor. This makes a difference. As a social dancer, I personally think it's great to take from a bunch of studios, privates, groups, different information, different people, meet friends, all sorts of good stuff. In the syllabus, the information is going to be quite compatible. Unfortunately, as a competitor, you're probably a little bit better dancer in terms of technique. Okay. The higher up in those competitive echelons you get, the more conflicting information you're going to get from the coaches. Been there myself. And then it's confusing. Now, the nice thing when you get a little tidbit of conflicting info, hey, you can test drive it. Does it work? If it does, great. Well, if you're going back and forth, that conflicting information can start to get very confusing. And as soon as you get one kind of path going, oh, now I got to switch gears and I got to try this way. Oh, now I got to switch gears and go back to the other way. And you get nowhere in the race. Okay, don't recommend it. Secondly, as a competitor, in my experience, it's best to take groups from that teacher as well. Those groups are essentially a great supervised practice. It's a cheap opportunity to rehearse with a trained eye look at you to make sure that you're mastering what it is you're paying all that money for in your privates. And you get a benefit two ways. For my private lesson students that are in my workshops, I've got my eyes peeled on. And then the next time they're in that private, I'm like, oh, well, here's what I saw you do in those comp rounds. Let's address this. In the private lesson, we tend to address kind of more compact pieces of choreo, and maybe you don't get to see the whole picture because we're so busy breaking down that one technique on two figures. And so that's very helpful for me and you in our teaching-student relationship to progress fastest. Okay. Likewise, when I teach privates, and I have a couple people in my groups who also take privates with me, I know what they're working on in their privates. Guess what I'm going to throw in there in that workshop to dial it in? Because you know what? I want to be good as a teacher too. And I certainly know if I follow up with that technique in the groups, we all are going to benefit, okay? I guarantee that competitive teacher that you're taking kind of, I'll say all those lessons with, is going to emotionally invest in you and have a closer tabs on what they should be working on because they see you more often. Okay, that's the way I would roll. That's just in my experience, okay? So I hope that's been helpful. I definitely strongly encourage you to take groups and privates. I do feel that's helpful. This particular person's a competitor, so yeah, I would roll with one studio. But social dancer, hey, world's your oyster. So I look forward to seeing you guys first thing tomorrow morning for some more things ballroom dance. I so appreciate your questions. Thanks so much for joining me today. Doodles!